Welcome back to Piston Broke with Matt and Jim and Dotty, my 1977 MG Midget. You're joining us on the road where we're now beginning to do our European road trip, where we're going to go from Chelmsford, where Jim lives, to Potsdam, where I live, and we're going to then allow Dotty to stay with us. Now, we had hoped to do a lovely introduction video where we'd show you the route and talk you through some prep, but as you can tell by the excited tone to my voice and the rather furious driving of Jim, we're late for our ferry. Well, welcome back to Piston Broke with Matt and Jim, where we're on the ferry from Harwich to the Hook of Holland.
Yep, absolutely. So we made it up to Harwich this afternoon, had a really good run up. We left a little bit later than we planned, finishing off a few jobs on Dotty. Principally fitting the hood took a little bit longer than we planned, but we made it all in good time. Yeah, nice brunches. Running really well. We decided to keep the roof up just to try and stretch the hood out. There will be a video coming out. In fact, probably by the time you see this, there will have been a video out on replacing the hood. Had a nice meal. Dotty's all snuggled in the hold, in good company and amongst a group of Sunbeam Alpines and a Sunbeam Tiger. So we're not the only classics on board, which is nice to see. And she's certainly got lots of interest in the car park. One chap came over with his two little lads and they were very taken with Dotty and had a little sit inside.
Let kids get excited about cars, and
definitely.
at the end of the day, we're not old.
No,
We're not old, we're absolutely not old at all. But we've got to get the next generation interested in cars, and I mean, yeah, what better way to get the next generation interested in cars than two crusty old gits trying to be on YouTube?
Yeah,
I mean, that's it. But yeah, so we let these kids jump in the car and they were pressing the buttons, flashing the lights, opening and shutting the doors, and the dad came over and he said, like, "Oh, are you okay?" He's like, "God, yeah, please. I mean, get them excited, for God's sake," and everything. So it was lovely, and it broke up the tedium a bit whilst we were waiting, because we were quite long delayed before we got boarded. Yeah. But we're here now, and we're sailing overnight to the Hook of Holland. Hopefully not the Harwich. Tick that one off the list. So right about now we're here, somewhere from here. We've left Harwich. We're going to be coming into the Hook of Holland here. Once we disembark, we have to end up coming down to Roosendaal here, which is very close to the Belgian border and Antwerp, and this is where Marlog's headquarters are. Now they're going to process the importation of Dotty hands, and so we want to try and avoid major roads as best we can. We'll be following along the 214 to Leerdam, and then we'll be going along some very narrow streets which don't feature on this map, unfortunately. They do on my Michelin map. And we'll be eventually heading over to Arnhem. Okay, we chose this as our overnight stay. On our second day, we're going to be leaving Arnhem and we will be heading seamlessly to Hildesheim here. Okay, medieval town square where you can go and get your fill of German beer and sausages. As it stands at the moment, we'll be taking what's known as the Landstraße, which is sort of like just the country roads. They're not the dual carriageways, they're not the autobahns. But we will be stopping at Wolfsburg, which is the city where the first and main Volkswagen factory is, which ironically enough was rescued after the war by a Major Hurst. and was offered to the British as reparations, but was turned down, and we stuck with British Leyland whilst Volkswagen made the Golf, and the rest is history, as they say. And then we're ahead sort of down through Magdeburg to Potsdam, where we'll be thoroughly tired, thoroughly dirty, needing a shower and needing many beers. But you'll join us in the morning on our way to the Customs Centre. Well, good morning and welcome back to Piston Broke with Matt and Jim. Whilst we're here now in the Netherlands, we've just gotten off the ferry. It's about 8 o'clock in the morning, and it was really brilliant crossing. Lovely room, and we had access to the lounge area, so it's a little bit more peaceful. We're just going to go through disembarkation. We've got the customs, but obviously for those of you who haven't driven on the continent before, obviously we've got to be on the other side of the road. We've got a UK sticker. We haven't had to put any beam converters on because we changed the headlights. But the most important rule to understand when you are driving in the Netherlands is that you have to pass the Dutchie on the left-hand side.
Lacking substantial equipment, always short of food.
So here we are in Roosendaal, not where we planned to be for the first night of our European road trip with Dotty. Partly down to the customs. They took their time and are still taking their time. So we've abandoned our plan to drive to Arnhem. Instead we're staying here so that we're close to the customs handlers, and we're enjoying the sunshine and the beers. So you'll join us when hopefully we'll be underway with Dotty.
Keep going down there.
Speed is the vital factor. The plan is to reach Eindhoven in 2 to 3 hours and Arnhem in 2 to 3 days. That, gentlemen, is the prize. The bridge over the Rhine. The last bridge between us and Germany.
Look at mine's going now, Jesus. Piston Float with Matt and Jim. Jim's at the wheel, driving. A little update, we are in Germany. So that's a good thing, because we woke up this morning in Holland after our enforced stay because of the customs. But we decided that we'd do our best to try and make the original stay in Hildesheim. So we drove through the Netherlands into Arnhem. It was a place that I'd wanted to see, had originally planned to visit because of the history there. While we didn't get to go and visit all of the sites, we did get to drive over the John Frost Bridge, which was nice to do, and we grabbed a little bite to eat in Arnhem in the car park of a little. But then we pressed on, and we're now in Germany, and we're driving. We're about 2.5, 3 hours away from our overnight stay. The weather's beautiful. I don't know if you can see. I know every time I move my head, the sun's there. It's an absolutely beautiful ride through. The roads are wonderful. It's a lovely, lovely evening. The sun's out, beautifully and warm. So, yeah, although it's been a long drive, it's been a lovely drive. We'll catch up with you later.
Okay, well, welcome back to Piston Float with Matt and Jim and Dotty, a 1977 MG Midget, who's been performing brilliantly.
Yep.
We're day 3 now. Day 3?
Yep, 17 days to go.
Yeah, we'll be in Berlin by Christmas. We sort of lost track of the days really because we had that enforced stop whilst we were waiting for customs to get in. We've had another slightly enforced stop. Generally, Dotty's been brilliant. She hasn't missed a beat. We've done about 500
500 miles since we left home.
Yeah,
So it's been going good. But I had a couple of little issues this morning. One was as we set off this morning, the tachometer needle's kind of fluctuating quite wildly, and I think it's probably the voltage stabiliser. So we pulled off when we could. Had a look. The voltage stabiliser, which is up behind the dashboard and is kind of known for causing trouble, to be honest. Looks like the bolt that holds it had come loose, so the stabiliser had kind of swiveled, so it wasn't horizontal. So it's really critical with the voltage stabiliser that when it's bolted against the bulkhead, that the contacts point upwards. It's a sort of an electromechanical device, and there's a little bimetallic strip inside. And it relies on being kind of mounted horizontally for the bimetallic strip to work. That up. A blown fuse, so we changed that. I think that might have happened when the voltage stabiliser moved. So hopefully, touch wood's all okay. We've also identified there might be a little bit of a rumbling from the alternator bearing.
Yeah, about 5 minutes ago. That's pretty much what's made us stop, because tachometer. But we heard this sort of whirring noise, almost the sound of an electric drill. That sort of electric motor whir noise. So we quickly pulled over and had a look, and sort of with nothing more than just putting our heads in the engine bay and sort of trying to work out where the sound was coming from, which with me that can't hear grasshoppers and a registered hearing impaired sort of co-driver, we've probably missed glaring opportunity of where the damage is. But it's probably the alternator bearings, so hopefully, sort of fingers crossed, we'll just be able to get us home. If it goes, we'll slip the fan belt off and just make sure that we don't stop, because we won't be charging the battery as we go. But yeah, we're within sight of home now. We've seen Berlin on the first sign, so yeah, we'll be home this evening. But
keep an eye on the alternator. Right.
That's it. So you'll join us at the Volkswagen Museum in hopefully about an hour. Welcome back to Piston Broke with Matt and Jim and Dotty, our 1977 MG Midget, here in Germany. We finally made it. It's a little bit of a long journey, but it was alright.
Yeah, so a bit of 11th hour finishing off Dotty's new roof, which has proven to be absolutely 100% watertight, which was well worth doing. So it's worth investing in a good quality mohair hood. So yeah, we had a good run over 3 days. A little bit of a customs delay, which delayed us for a day initially in Roosendaal in southern Netherlands, but eventually customs were quite happy with everything they got, so we pushed on through Arnhem, across the Dutch border, and then stopped the first night near Hanover, outside Wolfsburg, made it into Potsdam on Thursday evening. So had a little bit of kind of family time over the weekend, just been using Dotty to run around Potsdam in Berlin, done a couple of 100 miles while we were here, and she's been running, you know, absolutely faultlessly. So we brought her down here to Strauss Classics to hand her over for the next step of the journey.
But that's for the future. But right now, we've made it, and yeah, I couldn't be happier. It was lovely hanging out with Jim, but we got there in the end, and yeah, you'll see us later, hopefully with some registration plates.